Congratulations, you have made it 2/3 the way through this really, really arduous and time-consuming task. And I hope you are feeling good about yourself, because you should. You are now 2/3 of the way through the cube. You can solve it. Pretty much the majority of your learning, I think, as far as like understanding of the cube, is over now. The rest of this is just going to be some simple memorization of shapes and patterns in order to make sure you can do it. There are ways to do this last layer here without memorizing patterns, in which you just basically solve it in a very logical way, but to be honest, that method is extremely difficult, and I did not figure out how to do it without, well, I did figure out how to do it originally like this, but it took a really long time, and I wasn't able to duplicate it for a long time. I eventually gave up and relearned it, and learned it this way, because it was easier. So, yeah, so I recommend just learning it this way. So what we're going to do is, and this video will probably be broken into at least 2 parts, because there's quite a bit of little things I have to teach you. What we're going to do with this is we're first going to get a cross on the top layer. So just as we had a cross on the bottom layer with the white, now we're going to attempt to get a cross on the top layer, like this, okay? So you can see how that makes a cross. Now we're only looking at the edge pieces again, not looking at those corners, so just envision they're not there, or just ignore them. And we're going to get a cross on the first layer like that. And the cross does not need to be lined up like it was before, it just needs to be there, because this is just step 1 of 2 of getting all of the edge pieces on top, so that they're facing the, all the yellow pieces facing the correct direction like that, which is called OLL, orienting the last layer. So we're orienting all the pieces so that they're facing the same direction. That's the ultimate goal, but first we have to get the cross, as I was explaining. So, in order to do this, we are going to need to know a few little patterns, okay? So, we're going to learn one little, I guess this definitely counts as an algorithm. This is where you're going to have to know the notation and use the things that I taught you in the first video. The last ones, I don't think the notation is necessary for the other ones, but this is, you basically have to learn notation, or else learning this will probably be more difficult than is necessary. So, that algorithm, which should be below somewhere along here, I don't know, is just so you can kind of get it, and you might want to just sit down and practice it a couple of times. Front to the right, right side up, top to the left, right side down, front to the back, and there. Or F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Okay, and that's the algorithm you're going to need to. And that'll allow you to get the cross. So again, you might want to spend some time practicing that. Normally when I teach someone, I have them sit down and practice doing that multiple times. Don't worry about where you're doing it or how you're doing it. Just sit there and practice it until that feels comfortable. And there's some symmetry to this as well. What you basically have in this algorithm is you have FRU. All of those are non-prime, so I guess they're positive. I don't know, just non-prime. And the last ones are all prime, so they are all counterclockwise. And it's R prime, U prime, F prime. And you'll also notice that it's basically just F, and then RU. So if you look at it the way it is, it's F, and then RU, and then just the inverse, R prime, U prime, and then an F prime on the side. So it's kind of nice looking. It's just F's on both sides, RU, and then the inverse of that, R prime, U prime, and then the last one is prime. So yeah, so that's the algorithm. And the way you're going to apply this algorithm, one moment, is we are going to apply it according to what shape we see. So we're just going to use that one algorithm. And if we get finished with the first 2 layers, and we have something like this, where there's no edges are oriented, none of the yellow edges are facing up like how they are on these other ones, then you're just going to apply this algorithm anywhere. So F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Okay? And what that will do is, if you have none of them, it will give you 2 edges oriented like this. It'll move into this case right here, which is called the L. And if you have the L, now again, there may be, this is an L as well, because it has that yellow, even though it has that yellow dot, you're only looking at the edges, so don't worry about the corners. And when you get this case, you still continue to apply the algorithm, but you apply that algorithm, the F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, with the L on the top left, like this. So LL, top left. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And when you do that, it'll change from the L, and this basically what this algorithm does, it just changes from a dot to an L to a line like this, and then eventually to a cross, which will be the next step. And it gives you a line like that again. More simplified again. So this is still a line, but as you can really see right here with this particular one, is it gives you a line like that. And now if you just apply the algorithm one more time with the line parallel to you, it will give you a cross. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Like that. Okay? And that's going to be our first little step in that, is to get all those pieces, on all the edge pieces, facing the same direction on the yellow face. Okay? Once we have that, and again, you just sit down and practice that a little bit, we are then going to attempt to get all of the edge pieces, all the corner pieces also facing up. So it's going to be yet another algorithm. And this algorithm is basically R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, and what that does is that's going to cycle through another set of shapes that we're going to look for. And again, I recommend you sit down and practice that algorithm. Now you can learn it like I just did with the algorithm, so R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, or the way I actually figured this one out when I first did it. It's a common algorithm, but I also figured it out myself. Is I basically did up with the right side, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, clockwise, down. Okay? And that's basically what you have to do with that. I just think of it that way. It's easier for me. Up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, clockwise, down. Either way works. Eventually if you stick with it, you won't remember any of these algorithms as they are. You'll simply just remember them as you do them. It'll be muscle memory, basically. So it doesn't really make much of a difference. But yeah, we're going to use that in order to get what we have here, where all of the yellow pieces are facing the same direction and up. Okay? Now, as far as the application of that goes, what we are going to do is we are going to apply that algorithm according to certain shapes. So if we have what we call here is a fish. Okay, so you see that makes a little fish shape right here. We always want the fish in the bottom left-hand corner right here, like this. Okay, and then we're just going to apply that algorithm, clockwise up, clockwise, clockwise down, or R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Okay, and that'll give us all the pieces on top. We always have to adjust to make sure that the fish is in the bottom layer, or the bottom left side. So there. Again, if I do this, it's in the bottom left. Up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, clockwise, down. Okay, now I did that, and you're gonna have to do it multiple times. I'm gonna rotate the top again, so it's in the bottom left, and I do it again. Up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, clockwise, down. Okay, and again, that's gonna solve it. So that's the simplest case. If you have the fish, you just always put the fish in the bottom left-hand corner. Okay. Now, if you have anything that is not the fish, let's say like this, you just have the cross when you finish, and there's no fish, there's no corner finished here after you finish the cross. Then what you want to do is you want to look at the sides, okay? And if you have anything that is what we call these headlights, you see how the yellow corners, they're both facing the same direction, or if you have bug eyes, either way. But either one of those that you get, you always put the headlights or the bug eyes on the left, like that, so they're facing that direction. And then you apply that same algorithm, up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, clockwise, down. It gives you the fish, put the fish in the bottom left-hand corner, and you do it again. Okay? And that will solve it. You're just going to have to go through that. And so same thing, no matter what you have, if you have, 1 second, I'll get to that one. If you have headlights like this, and you have this little bar in the back, you just put the headlights on the left, because it's got headlights, and then you do it. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. headlights, if this took you to this, you find your headlights, put it on the left, right there. Or alternatively, you could just put the bug eyes here. See how that makes like bug eyes on the left? Doesn't really matter, but I always just put headlights on the left. And then it's RU, R prime U, RU2, R prime. Gives you the fish. Put the fish in the bottom left. RU, R prime U, RU2, R prime. Okay? So we just go through those little cycles. And that pretty much covers it. You know, you have the fish or you have the headlights. The only other case that you could get is this right here, and I call this double fish, in which you have this basically like double triangle thingy here. And if you have the double triangle, you still use the same little algorithm, the same up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, down, or alternatively just RU, R prime U, RU2, R prime. But you use it when it's in this shape, exactly, so that you have a fish in the top right, or top left, and bottom right. And then you go RU, R prime U, RU2, R prime. Okay, now you get headlights on the left. You make sure they stay on the left. RU, R prime U, RU2, R prime. Gives you the fish. One more time. Now, the most you should ever have to use this algorithm is 3 times. Okay. Same thing for the first one when you're getting the cross. You should only have to use that FRU one 3 times. And you're going to learn a lot of random algorithms. It's always remember that the first one is the one that has an F in it. Okay? So the one that gives you the cross is the one that has an F in it. It's the first algorithm you use on the last layer. Okay? So yeah, that's it. You have to practice a little bit. Play around with it. You can apply any of these algorithms to the cube multiple times, and it will, as long as you do them correctly, it won't mess up the first 2 layers. So you can sit here and practice the cross, FRU, R prime, U prime, F prime, and just sit there and do that. It won't mess anything up. And you just sit there, it'll just cycle through. Give you the cross, take it away. Give you the cross, take it away. That's all it's going to do. And the same thing with the other one. Up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, down. Double fish, like this, up, clockwise, down, clockwise, up, clockwise, down, double, clockwise, down, like that. Okay? And you can sit there and do that repetitively, and I recommend you do that. So yeah, this is going to be the end of my first part. The next part, we will work on solving it. You're almost there.